Tech MD. I've been trying to get this video done for the past 4 or 5 days. Customer dropped off the Surface Pro the other day, and here it is. This is the Surface Pro 2, according to the model number. How you tell the Surface, you can look at the serial number here and put it into Microsoft's website and it'll tell you exactly what you have. There's also probably a model number right here. Yeah, model number 1572. So this is the Windows RT, and we're doing this relatively cheap for her. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this repair. So the first step that you're gonna do is go ahead and put it on your heating mat, heat gun, or I don't know, a hot plate. There's really not a lot of options. We're gonna put this at 100 degrees Celsius. You probably wanna go a little lower if you wanted to salvage the LCD, maybe as low as 80, but it would take longer to separate. And I don't wanna damage the battery, so I don't wanna go to 120 degrees. So I feel like 100 degrees Celsius is the perfect temperature. So we're gonna let that sit there for about 5 minutes and get nice and warm for us. We're gonna need a few tools, and I'll be bringing out those tools now. All right, so now we're gonna get some heat resistant gloves on. And go ahead and take it off our heater. There might be some cables up there, so just be careful cutting into it, as I don't know. I've done the Surface Pro 3 and 4, 5. I have not done the 2. Maybe it wasn't very popular.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're gonna lift the tablet screen out of this place. Looks like the battery is underneath the board, so there's no disconnecting that, unfortunately. We'll see if we have to take this board out or not. I think we do, actually. I remember looking at the parts, so I'm gonna go grab the part real quick. So these parts you can get from Indra Gadgets or Mobile Centrics, which the link is in the description for these parts. Also Amazon too. So I'm just taking off this plastic here. Kinda looks like we need to take this piece out here. Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Looks like a T4, T3 screwdriver. All right, T4 is not small enough. We're gonna use T2. It's a T2. Alright, so now we're going to try to lift this board out without breaking anything. I don't know how to yet. I don't know if it's glued down somehow. That's how. Okay, so they're clipped in here. Alright, so we're going to carefully remove this piece here. Clearly you want your device off, and if it's not off, let the battery drain. So we're going to go ahead and just take our plastic tool here, or spludger, also known as. There we go. And that just pulls right out pretty easy. This is giving me quite a bit of tension here. All right, so next piece here. Okay, so we remove that, and this can easily disconnect, no problem. We're gonna set this aside because we're gonna clean up this frame of all this old gunk. And if this is good, you could technically separate the digitizer and glass and fuse and bond a new one, but I really don't know who could do it or have the proper equipment or where to buy the digitizers. And how many of these do I do? Well, this is my first one I've ever done in all the years I've been fixing devices, so I'm gonna check it. Plus, the parts are only like $30, so why waste my time doing glass separation? All right, so the next part is we want to get all this adhesive loosened up for us. Sometimes adhesive will just roll off, and other times it won't. So it's not really rolling off well, and I'm not sure how clean I want to get this. But at the moment, we're just going to try to get it as clean as possible. So I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol in a bottle and put some on the device. So we just soak in a little alcohol in this, and now we're going to cut the adhesive.
A few moments later.
Alright, so here's my thoughts on scrubbing the frame. It's important because there's a lot of glass shards, and it's going to create it won't let the screen sit down flush. You could just pick all the glass shards out and set it down and hope for the best, but you could potentially crack your new screen, so I don't recommend doing that whatsoever. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of acetone on there. All right, that was finally done. I swear I spent like 30 minutes cleaning that frame. It's a lot of glue, guys. It was pretty difficult just removing the screen alone, but at least there's no cables to really rip or tear. Just gotta be careful around the front camera so you can really dig into it fast. And really the cable plugs it all in. You just gotta be more careful right here on the bottom. That's it. So before, so normally you would want to plug it in, test it, but I don't have the charger and I don't have time more to mess with this. So we are going to use some Tessa tape. Just a little cool thing I bought at Mobile Centrics. Little tiny shout out. Put your Tessa tape in, or your other tapes. And it's kind of a pain to figure out initially, but it has a little knife right here. You just tear it. Easy. Running right along the plastic edges right there. It's pretty important to run along the edges. You can use T7000, but that's a lot of glue. And I'm sure there's other black adhesive tape that's just as good. I'm just gonna set that aside. We don't need that piece anymore. So just eye it up, make sure you get right along that edge. I'm using 7mm, but it would have been nicer to have maybe the, 14. Just to save time for the tape size, but I would say 10 would be good enough if you have a 10mm tape, but unfortunately I don't. I don't use it very often. Alright, so any extra tape, just wrap it around the sides here. Not a problem. Any excess hanging over, or if you're slightly too short, you're fine. Not a big deal. Okay, next is we're gonna want to attach the screen. Okay, so it's important to get this board orientation correct. I do believe that's the correct location. Yep. Screws all line up. So if that's the case, then these cables are going to be connecting right here. Close down the board carefully. Put that over there. Oh, jumped right out. All right, let's get this out of the way. Work on it. Maybe on a flatter surface. Haha, surface. Okay. Maybe flatter. That easy. Okay, now we got that connected. As I remember, the board is down here. And it comes up and over, like so. Yep. You curve it around. And then slide this board down. And then we're going to make sure it's connected. Just here on the side, you're going to look in between the board and connect it down. There we go. Got a nice click. Next is we're going to put our screws back in, T2. So with the right tools, and if you're an amateur, it could probably be done without too much difficulty. If not, we'll do it. We charge $130 and you have to pay for return shipping. That's it. The customer says she only used this for like a year before she broke it and she forgot about it. Until we told her we fix just about any electronic. So small electronics. So she brought it in. If you have one of these sitting around, we'd be glad to. If we ever get to a battery, I'd be glad to show you guys how to do that, but unfortunately this video is not going to contain that. Now we just got to separate all this Tessa tape to make it sticky and ready to set the screen down. And unfortunately, I cannot show you it's functioning because I don't have a charger. I thought all the Surface Pro's chargers were the same, but I guess I was wrong, so now I have to wait for the customer to bring that in. But you can just assume that the screen works from the video and tutorial. Alright, now that we got all the tape set down, you can carefully set down your screen here. I'm just trying to get the board set down right so that the screen sits in there. And perfect. Now if your frame is bent, this is not going to set very well, so hopefully you guys didn't have a bent frame. And then just burning it along the sides here and making sure it sits down flush. If it's giving you trouble, it's either not sitting in right, the frame is bent, or you didn't clean up your adhesive enough. And if you press too hard down on it, you could potentially crack that screen. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a good one.